We're here to make a new type of news.
New insights, new styles, and new topics every day.
We are News Generations.
Making news just for you. It's February 5th here in Seoul. I'm Shin-Yeun, and you're watching News Generation. Joining me in the studio is Choi Ji-hee.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday, and Woo Jun.
Happy to see you again.
Happy Monday. Now, both are here to speak on behalf of people in their 20s and 30s. As usual, let's start with our news feed, which covers different hashtags and news items that have been trending on social media over the past 24 hours. A retail analysis service looked into the consumption patterns of those in their 20s and 30s here in Korea. From January to November last year, the most used services were the country's biggest e-commerce platform, Coupang, portal and shopping sites Naver and Naver Pay, and then food delivery service 배달민족. Since the end of COVID-19, consumers have become accustomed to buying things online. Also due to the surge in demand for international travel, online shopping has become more commonplace. Moving on, the Wall Street Journal has reported on an analysis carried out by U.S. bed manufacturer Sleep Number. The company surveyed customers aged 18 to 34 and found out that in the month of January, most were asleep by 10:06 p.m. This was 12 minutes earlier than last year. The article further analyzed how more Gen Z are going to bed by 9 p.m. so they can have at least 9 hours of sleep. Experts read into this trend as Gen Z's high level of awareness for mental health. Instead of drinking alcohol, which many view as a depressant that can affect one's mental health, Gen Z seemingly are prioritizing sleep, which works as a stress reliever. And the South Korean government is trying to limit the number of smoking scenes people can see on Netflix and other streaming platforms. That's why officials from the Health Ministry will attend the 10th meeting of the WHO Framework Convention on Tobacco Control, set to take place in Panama from Monday. There, Korean officials will propose to the WHO how the depiction of tobacco subconsciously encourages smoking. They will also share South Korea's own anti-smoking policies and advertisements and media exposure regulations that have brought smoking levels down. Now, the Health Ministry says South Korea's smoking population in 1998 hovered at 35.1%, but 2 years ago, this figure dropped to 17.7%. And officials attributed this drop to be from stricter media exposure guidelines. So here at the studio, what do you guys think about this move? And do you think less exposure to smoking in the media could actually bring down smoking rates? And should there even be regulations on social media then?
It will be more effective, I guess, but since the power of the media has tremendous impact on all age, so I think we will provide opportunities to rethink and remind the smoking warning, I guess. But however, rather than unilateral regulations on exposure to smoking scenes, it is more important to give them each certain suitable standards for it so that it does not have any backfire.
I agree as well. What do you think? Do you think that this type of measure will bring smoking rates down?
Well, government officials said they saw a relationship between the exposure of smoking and the number of people who actually smoke, but this is only a correlation and it can't really be said that it's a causal relationship between the two. And I'm always for the freedom of expression when it comes to media and creative content. And we have public ads that actually deal with smoking, anti-smoking. So I think those are enough for not encouraging people to smoke. And we should really leave these media content for the freedom of expression. And I don't think these guidelines will actually be effective because it's not really a causal relationship.
I think another popular opinion had to do with the regulations on drinking then. Because compared to smoking, I do think we have more lenient measures when it comes to seeing a lot of drinking content on different OTT platforms. So hopefully we will see some type of breakthrough come forth, but whether it would affect creative content is something that we need to keep our eye on. Now, switching gears to our main discussion topic of the day, people of our generation are known to be endlessly challenging themselves. How? Well, here in Korea, a growing number of millennials and Gen Z who have already been to a prestigious university are taking the college entrance exam known as 수능 again. Some are striving to get even a more stable job by working as a civil servant. So Chi, why don't you start our discussion off by telling us a bit more about our generation's endless yearning for challenges?
Sure. So like you said, we're constantly witnessing a clear trend among the younger generation here in the country who are retaking the college entrance exam, commonly known as 수능. and even after entering college or getting a job, that is. So this trend is also reflected in the numbers as shown on the screen. So the ratio of freshmen entering university who have taken the 수능 multiple times has exceeded 330,000, which is the highest since the exam system was first introduced in the country. And this trend is evidence that young people are really eager to take on new challenges and really pursue their true passions. So as a result of this new trend, a substantial number of MZers are leaving the public service as well after becoming public officials, which is usually very competitive to get into the first place. They decide to just give up on that if it's not their true passion. Now, on the other hand, the average age of the most recent class who graduated last year was 18.7 years old, and a whopping 75% of the graduates were aged between 17 and 18. Now, interestingly, these graduates decided to break the traditional path of going to college and finding a job, and instead they choose to just pursue a career in public service right away instead of entering a university before that and just choosing to get a job without studying further.
Exactly. And I think that really reflects our generation's yearning for challenge, because even though you're at a really prestigious university and you might go onto that traditional path, if you also want to pursue another years and years of studying and trying to be a civil servant, that does reflect our tendency to try to take on new challenges. And what do you think is spurring this type of phenomenon then?
In Korea, it seems to be they have a lot of restrictions, and especially like what age you have to do this and what age you have to achieve this and move to the next level, etc. But these days, MGs are M 세대, so they are more given up for the M things as well. But there's also another word is 3 세대. There's having given up for 3 things like relationship, marriage, and also childbirth. And due to the economic and social pressures like housing prices and tuition fee, and also employment difficulties, etc. And affected with these issues, MG is still also very free from the responsibility on age and seems to be more focusing on themselves and taking challenging on themselves. And in addition, since it's quite aging society right now, and we're approximately living with the 100 years old, and which means we have to work that long as well. So MGs don't hesitate to figure out which is going to fit their personality and ability and appetites. So, and I also believe that that's why we have such a bigger race of the people who retaking the SAT as one of their options. And it seems to be like one of their unconventional changes and also the new transitions now.
Exactly. And I would like to borrow the saying, life is like a marathon. And basically, because of socioeconomic factors, the marathon has become longer life expectancy has allowed us to look for more options. But Chihi, would you like to add a bit more analysis as to this phenomenon happening?
Sure. So according to experts, this trend of more and more students retaking the 수능 is influenced by the craze for medical schools and a preference for prestigious universities here in our society. As the number of people also taking the exam is decreasing, this is due to low birth rates in the country. The number of seats in top universities are also expanding, and the threshold to get into one of these schools or to get into one of the professional majors is going lower as well. So as a result, many young people are taking this as an opportunity to really challenge themselves by retaking the exam and choosing to really push themselves to get into one of these majors or the prestigious schools.
And I think it also has to do with our generation being fearless. Yeah. I think we're quite courageous. And Heejun, the reason why we have you today in our episode is because you seem to be like the icon of endless challenges. You're very fearless, courageous. So why don't you walk us through on how you push yourself to the brink and how many challenges you've taken so far?
Well, to be honestly, I also consider and hesitate the same thing in my school days, which is school I have to go and what major I have to take. Because 19 was very natural and compulsory to go to university at the time. Because originally college entrance rate was super high in Korea, and basic rate to get a job is from graduating from high school and college. But at this time, I didn't really find out like what I was truly passionate for and what I really want to study for. So I just didn't want to waste my 4 years in the university and pay my tuition fee with studying, which is I didn't really want to dive in. So I take myself to challenge something new, which was experience the society first. So I started my job as interpreter at the Korea Tourism Organization, and I also went out for myself for the world travel, and with my salary that I earned. And coincidentally, I started my sports kabaddi since I found out this sport during my world travel in India.
Right.
And a year later, I found out what I really want to study for. So I went to college at this time, and which was about ergonomic and artificial medical devices, about like an artificial leg as an arm, because at the time I was an athlete as well, so I want to help out the athlete with the disability at the time. So that's why I take my major as biomedical engineering and continue with that. If there is no such a journey like this at my 20, I truly think that I could not find out what I was truly passionate for, and also connected with these affections to my careers as military officers as well.
That's amazing, from a national athlete of kabaddi, which started off from you traveling around the world to India, to going to college, doing a lot of biomed related to artificial intelligence, and now military officer. It's just a swift and turn of many different events. But I must say, you are the epitome of courage, which really resembles our generation. And we asked our viewers if they could relate to our topic. We asked if they've ever wanted to change their job or better self-development. Take a look at the screen to find out what 3 of them had to share with us. Let's start with Rex. Rex said, if you're not a fit to your job, you'll end up being miserable. You're better off in a job where you're happy. Leon said, it depends if I'm satisfied with my current job or major, and if the change can enhance my performance and satisfaction levels. Also, the financial impact if I switch my job or major, whether I have the resources to support myself with the change. Ramsey said, yes, but in the current economic climate, decisions should be chosen carefully. I am hoping to open my own business, which can be risky. However, my current office job gives me a stable income to sustain my lifestyle and needs, so it will always be passion versus practicality. So we can tell that this is a global phenomenon, with a lot of millennials and Gen Z contemplating whether they should constantly yearn for challenge or they should stay in their current path. But we're now going to include another Gen Z who recently changed their major in college, hoping for more self-development. So stay tuned for our live interview. We're now going to talk to a fellow Gen Z who recently changed her major from English language and literature to mechanical engineering. It's Yang Jinho. Welcome, Jinho.
Hello, thanks for having me.
All right, Jinho, the reason we have you on our show today is we're talking about endless challenges and our generation's yearning for that. And you seem to be doing that by changing your major. So first, tell us, why did you decide to change your major in college?
Okay. I transitioned from English literature to mechanical engineering with the aim of improving people's daily lives through innovative solutions at the intersection of language and technology. My motivation for this change stems from a passion for tackling new challenges and contributing to society use the power of technology. I believe that by combining proficiency in both English and engineering, a synergy effect can be achieved, allowing for a unique and impact approach to creating convenient solutions for the better benefit of society.
I see. Well, Jinho, are you then now happy with your decision so far?
Absolutely. I'm very pleased with my decision. The process took about 2 years, starting with basic high school level problem sets. Initially, introductory physics and math courses were tougher than expected, but that motivated me to commit more to my studies. Seeking help from teaching assistants and professors, I overcame difficulties. After the change, the journey remained challenging, but building a solid foundation from scratch made studying more enjoyable. Experiencing the rewards of my efforts was fulfilling. I got involved in battery and display technology development at a startup, aligning with my career goals. In my current role, I actively participate in meaningful projects, appreciating the impact of my major change had on my professional journey.
All right, including yourself, do you think millennial and Gen Z tend to strive for constant changes and developments, and why?
My favorite quote is where there is a will, there is a way. It means if you really want to do something, you can find a solution. This quote has helped me during big changes, reminding me that challenges are a part of a longer journey and success takes time. Also, nowadays, there are many more options to choose from. I think it's important to try different things because you might discover something you enjoy or good at. Even if you have some regrets, it's better to face challenges and learn from them than to always wonder about missed chances. I encourage everyone to embrace changes, tackle challenges with determination, and enjoy the journey of personal growth in this time of numerous possibilities.
All right, and as you said, if you have a will, there always is a way. And my last question for you is, now that you changed your major, what are your plans from now on, once you graduate?
Okay, when I graduate, I want to go to graduate school for more study about mechanical engineering.
I see. So you're going to be constantly challenging yourself in the field of mechanical engineering. And I think that really grasps our topic today. Thank you so much, It was a pleasure talking to you today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, now bringing the discussion back to the studio, I think our generation is prioritizing many different things in life, and we all have different personal interests, which does affect our prioritization. So here at the studio, what is your number one priority that you would like to achieve this year?
This year, I actually told you this multiple times before. Other than writing my own diary, as you recommended me, I also want to try creating my own content, video content of me like reading different books. Yeah, so that would be my new challenge for this year. But with life, I just want to continue doing what I pursue all the time. And shall we hear what Heejun has to say first?
What about you? What about you? You're the epitome of endless challenges. So what are challenges that you would like to take on this year, and how does that align with your values or prioritization in life?
Well, to be honest, at the moment, I didn't decide yet because I just finished my biggest goal which was like attending the Hangzhou Asian Games last year. And I just had like 2 months for takeoff. So I'm just taking more time to consider what I really want to starting on and what I really want to learn more as starting new challenges. But at the moment, I really like to share my knowledge to the other students and all I know around me, because they also keep asking me like how to become like soldiers and how to become like a person who good at the challenging and stuff. So at the moment, I'm very glad and happy to like share my knowledge and my experiences in the lecture sites.
No, I want to point out how you both mentioned at the moment or for this year. It's very periodic, and whenever I have similar conversations with my friends, this is a common trait. A lot of millennials and Gen Z seem to have very short-lived goals or goals that they want to achieve in the very near future, given that, as Heejun, you mentioned before, with longer life expectancy, life seems to be a marathon or a long journey where we can take on different priorities and different values time from time. And that really reflects our generation's endless yearning for challenge. It seems like we have 3 to 5 year goals that we want to achieve time at a time. And which is why I believe that we need to be considering how nowadays, even though you graduate from college, instead of going to like a very big company or looking for a stable job, instead you can try out doing a blue collar job or part-time job, as long as you're finding out what you want to do. Then I would like to ask you guys, any tips or personal hacks we can give to our viewers or fellow millennials and Gen Z out there who are constantly looking for challenges?
Well, I want to share this one quote that I really, really like. It's that all of the hurdles that we go through have meaning, and being open to learning from those challenges is the difference between succeeding and getting stuck. So, like everyone out there, the millennials these days, they try to challenge themselves to really find out what they're passionate about. And I think it's in line with what I was, it's very similar to how I lived my life as well, because although I majored in psychology in university and wanted to pursue it more by going to graduate school, after one semester I decided that it wasn't something that I wanted to do for the rest of my life, which is why I went to another graduate school to study interpretation. So I just want to tell everyone that approval from outside isn't important, and really just listen to what you have to say inside you, listen to your heart, and if it's really what you want to do and you're truly passionate about,
Right.
then pursue it.
If you have the passion, you do you.
Yes, you do you.
What about you, Heejun?
Well, to be honest, in the process of trying something new, which is called challenge, there's success, but on another hand, there's also the failure. But I truly believe that we must try this failure to figure out how to achieve a result and find another direction so far. And rather than being afraid of trying the challenge and having experiences of the failure, what if you try to think that it is such a valuable achievements that only the person who did the challenge can qualify to enjoy of them. And I can really guarantee that this will be definitely great step to forward.
And can I add one more thing? I think that even though our generation might be considered the symbolism of challenging ourselves and striving for something new or better development, there might be a lot of people, including myself, who are satisfied with where they are even now. And I think that also has to do with our generation's prioritization of mental health, self-awareness, and just being satisfied with where you are. Knowing how to be satisfied with your current situation could be a challenge itself. So don't feel despair or that desperation or sometimes that even burden to catch up or the fear of missing out like your colleagues. As long as you're happy with where you are right now, I think that's the lesson of the day. And even for myself, I chose one field from day 12. I think when I was 12 years old, I always wanted to be an international journalist, and my goal hasn't changed since. But even there, even when I saw a lot of my outstanding colleagues pursue different paths, whether that be in career or academics, I think I tried not to be swayed and went my own path. And that just shows our generation's characteristic is that we're not swayed by what others do. It's more about what we are standing for and about individuality. And in the meantime, we'll be here every day from 9:30 to 10 a.m. Korea time, bringing you more topics young people are talking about. Special thanks to Choi Ji-hee
Thank you.
and Woo-hee-jun.
Thank you so much.
All right, and thank you everyone for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. We are News Generation.